What is Tartaria? I'm sure you've heard people talk about it. And what is it? Well, people will tell you all kinds of things. They'll say, oh, it's about these star forts, these old bastion forts of the old world. Or it's about buildings like this, with these antennas on top. It's also about giants and skeletons of giants that once were found. It's about the world's fairs. And as beautiful as they were, it's more than that. Tartaria has become sort of a catch-all term for pretty much everything in the old world that kind of doesn't make sense. Anyways, the theory is that a long time ago, there was another flood, a great mud flood of sorts, in the early 1800s that basically wiped out everybody. Now, some people say, oh, everybody survived and they were put into asylums and things like that. But either way, the general theory is that there was a bunch of people, the world was reset, and a new population began. And the cities that we all live in today, the great cities like New York City and San Francisco, all these different cities, they found them. And they found them full of architecture. And that kind of spurred the so-called Industrial Revolution to where we had 1 billion people turn into 8 billion people. But we found them, and people will say that it was free masonry. It was free to us. They also say it's the land of the free. But as you go on, you'll see that it's more than just these buildings. In the 1700s, we see pictures of them using electricity. And all over the place, there's these lightning rods on the old buildings. And people will say, well, they were merely to catch the lightning. But others will say that they were used to collect the free energy in the atmosphere, and that our hidden past is full of this kind of stuff. Now, there's more to it. Some people say the earth is flat. Some people say there's a hollow earth. As you can see, there's just a whole lot to it. But in the end, you can call it what you want. You can call it Tartaria, and people will say, well, there's no proof that Tartaria existed. But there is. There's all these different maps, a lot of different old books. There's a lot of things that prove that wrong. There was a Grand Khan of Tartaria. And guess what? When Columbus came to the Americas in 1492, he was looking for the Grand Khan of Tartary. But nobody will tell you that. And no history teacher will ever say that to you. But that's where we end up. We look back and we saw all this weird stuff. And people have kind of put it all together. They say, well, we've been lied to our whole lives. If you go into any big city, let's say Philadelphia, and you've never been there, you're going to see a few really huge buildings, and they're going to blow your mind. And you're going to wonder, well, how the hell did they do that? And that's what everyone is asking.